Hi and welcome to this video in which we're going to look at randomisation of questions and the randomisation of responses within questions. So this is another video in the QPSMR Insight Up and Running series, and in this video we're going to start by looking at randomising questions first of all. So I'm going to first of all randomise the order that questions 3 and 4 appear on a survey, and the way I do that is I highlight question 3, go into the random question option, give that a name. I'm going to call that group 1, the group random 1, go to question 4, apply that set to question 4, and you'll see in the questionnaire worksheet here that random 1 appears around question 3 and question 4. And that tells QPS that those two questions are part of a randomisation process when we come to data collection. Let's see how that works. Let's go to test KP. It's not test paper. If you test the paper, it won't work because paper comes out in a fixed order. But for CAPI, we can go here, put our answers into the questions. And this questionnaire has question 4 appearing before question 3, and if we now do another survey, let's try a different serial number, and sure enough question 3 now appears before question 4 for that particular respondent, so it looks as though our randomisation is working perfectly well there. Alright, let's take that a step further now. Let's say that we want to randomise whether people see the pair of questions 3 and 4 and the pair of questions 5, 6 in a random order. So we could enclose this group within another random order, which I'm going to call random 2, and add that to a set, and I'm going to add questions 5 and 6 to random 2. Now what this is going to do is illustrate how randomisation works when you've got it sort of nested to a second depth. So what it's going to do here, it's going to randomly do questions 3 and 4 in a particular order with the questions in 5 and 6. Within questions 3 and 4 though, they're going to be randomised, whereas 5 and 6 are going to come out in the fixed order of 5 first and then 6. So the order may be 3, 4, 5, 6, or it may be 5, 6, 4, 3. What it won't be is 3, 4, 6, 5, because we're not randomising 5 and 6. We're only randomising 3 and 4 within that group. Let's see that in action now and see what it looks like. Let's test it again with CAPI. 1, 2, and sure enough, question 4 appears before question 3, and 5 and 6 are in a fixed order. So that's one permutation. Let's try another one. Now this time 5 will always appear before 6, and 3 here is coming out before 4. So that's another permutation that appears to be working. We'll just try one more. 4 is now coming out before 3, but 5 will always come out before 6. So that all appears to be working quite well, and so we've got 2 levels of randomisation there, and you can extend that to 3 levels of randomisation, and you can include as many questions as you like in a randomised block. So you might, if you're doing a product test testing product A followed by product B, you might randomise everything for the block, for all the questions within the block for product A and all the questions in the block for product B, so they come out as a whole block in a random order. Now let's go one step further. Let's look at randomising responses within a question. So I've got question 7 here, and that's got a multiple response question with 10 responses. Now if I check this box here, that will randomise my 10 responses. But I might want to be a bit more selective about that. I might want to only randomise the first 8 in my list, but keep 9 anchored to the bottom and fixed in its position. So I'm going to check the fixed position, no randomised, for other and none of these. So I don't want them riding up the list. I want to keep them at the bottom. So now what it will do is, when it comes to question 7, it will randomise the first 8 responses but leave the 9th and 10th in its place. So let's just test that and see if it's working. Let's go through a questionnaire again. So here we go, through here, and we should soon get to question 7, and you can see the answers are coming out 7, 3, 4, 5, 8, 1, 2, 6, but 9 and 10 are safely anchored at the bottom. So that completes this video on randomisation of questions and responses. There's obviously plenty more videos in the QPSMR Insight up and running series to help you get started with QPSMR Insight. Thank you.